Many people in this world simply follow their own drum, meaning they want everything according to their own wishes, whether it hurts others around them or not. These people don't want to be like those around them, and that's why they are called rebels. One such rebel is in the 1979 film The Tin Drum, who, after observing the habits and lives of the older people around him, decides never to grow up. He fights against age, just as a revolutionary fights against society. Hello, and welcome to the SpeedScene Recaps, which tells you about the inside story of a film. If you're new to this channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. At the beginning of the film, we see a woman named Anna Bronski in a region of Poland. A man named Joseph came running to her and asked Anna for help, hiding from the police. Anna helped him. From that day on, they both lived together, hiding from the police. After evading the police for a year, Joseph was finally caught, and after jumping into the water that day, he was never seen again. Some said he drowned, while others said he escaped to America and lived a wealthy life as a businessman. On the other hand, Anna spent her time selling goods in the market, and then came World War I. Anna and Joseph's daughter, Agnes, fell in love with her cousin Zen, who worked at a Polish post office, and she also loved Alfred, a German chef. This love affair produced Oscar, whose real father was Agnes's husband, Alfred or Zen. No one knows for sure whether he was her real father. Oscar didn't want to be born, but when his mother told him she would give him a tin drum when he turned 3, he stopped crying. At the age of 3, when he saw his family and others drunk at his birthday party, he realized he never wanted to grow up. He decided he wouldn't be like them and would remain a child forever. To remain a child forever, he jumped down the stairs. From that day on, Oscar remained 3 years old forever. Oscar never wanted to let go of his broken drum, but when it was taken away from him, he discovered that his voice could become so loud that it could break glass, and he began to show everyone this power. At that time, Nazi Germans had arrived in that area, and this was not liked by the people living there. Oscar was now 6 years old, but he wasn't growing up or wanting to give up his drum. But if anyone tried to take his drum away from him, he would fight for it, breaking glass with his voice. A medical journal wrote about the unique power of Oscar's voice, but his family simply wanted to know why he wasn't growing. Agnes would go to town with Oscar every Thursday. She would leave him in a shop under the guise of work and go to Zen's. But one day, Oscar would discover the truth. A few years later, 12-year-old Oscar went to a circus with his parents. Watching dwarfs perform, his parents realized that perhaps Oscar was a dwarf, which is why he wasn't growing. After the show, Oscar meets a dwarf named Bebra, who recognizes that Oscar is just like him. Seeing Oscar's unique talent, he offers him a job at the circus, but his parents are worried when they see him with Bebra. After the Nazi Germans invaded Poland, they oppressed the Polish people. The shopkeeper Agnes, who leaves Oscar every week, is a Jewish man, Marcus. He advises Agnes to leave Zen and live with Alfred, because soon the Germans will take over all of Poland. He is also in love with Agnes and wants her and Oscar to move to London with him. Agnes denies this. Agnes was upset about something, and she started feeling uneasy about Oscar getting into trouble every time. This upset led her to suddenly eat only fish every day, even though she had a strong aversion to fish. She would vomit immediately after eating it. Alfred told Agnes's mother about this, and she realized that Agnes was pregnant and didn't want to give birth because she knew the child would be Zen's and she couldn't bear the burden of her sins. Alfred didn't care whose child it was. He just wanted to change Agnes's decision. However, since she had never been happy after giving birth to Oscar, she didn't want to do it, and Agnes died prematurely due to a reaction to eating the fish. Marcus attended his funeral, but the Nazis present there insulted him and forcibly removed him from the funeral because he was Jewish. After everyone present had left, Marcus went alone to Agnes's grave so that no one would stop him. The Nazis were destroying every Jewish home and shop, and they destroyed Marcus's shop as well. And because of this, Marcus took his own life. With Marcus's departure, Oscar's path to getting a new drum was also blocked. Just as his mother died from being disturbed by Oscar's habits, a few years later, Zen would also die because of Oscar. To get his drum repaired, Oscar took Zen to the Polish post office, which was now surrounded by Nazis. The Polish people at the post office were preparing to attack the Germans, and that day, a shootout broke out between the Germans and the Polish. During the attack, Oscar searched for Zen, but he couldn't find him. After a long search, Zen found him hiding in a room where Oscar discovered a new drum. Oscar insisted on getting the drum, and in his pursuit, a man leading the attack was injured. Despite repeated attempts to save him, he could not escape. The entire building was set on fire, and Zen, along with others, was taken captive and then killed. Oscar was informed of Zen's death by a mentally unstable man. A few days later, Alfred gave 16-year-old Maria a job in his shop. She also took care of Oscar. And over time, Oscar fell in love with her. He was the same age as Maria, but Maria didn't believe it because Oscar still looked like a child. Oscar began to get closer to her, and then discovered that she and Alfred were having an affair. Maria loved Alfred, but Alfred only wanted to use her, and this deeply hurt Maria. When Oscar tried to comfort a crying Maria, she called him a dwarf and pushed him. When she regained consciousness, she apologized, but Oscar hit her back and left. Maria was pregnant with Alfred's child, but Oscar wanted to kill the child, but Maria prevented him from doing so. Shortly thereafter, Maria gave birth to a son. Everyone was happy, except Oscar, who believed the child was his. Oscar's neighbor, Lena, was unhappy with her husband because she preferred spending time with Nazi men. One day, the man was caught by the Nazis engaging in sexual activities with them and was executed as punishment. Oscar's friend, Bibra, held a high position in the Nazi army during World War II and asked Oscar to join his team, which was about to perform in Paris. Oscar joined them to entertain the Nazi soldiers and fell in love with his co-worker, Roswitha. Oscar was happy with them and living a good life, his own way. One day, American soldiers attacked the area and Roswitha was killed. Oscar lost his love forever. After the tragedy, Oscar returned home to find the place devastated. He learned that the Russians would arrive shortly and the Germans would be expelled. Oscar gifted Maria's 3-year-old son, Kurd, a drum identical to the one he had received. Maria was not happy with his arrival, but Alfred was. He kept him hidden from those who wanted to admit him to the hospital for treatment. Alfred was reluctant to accept that his son was abnormal, but Maria insisted that he needed treatment so he could grow up. Witnessing the devastation of his own people, Alfred hated the Nazis and Hitler, and he kept his family, as well as his neighbors, Lena and Oscar, hidden. He was also concealing the truth about his being a Nazi soldier, and one day Russian soldiers broke in and raped Lena. Oscar helped Alfred hide the truth about his Nazi affiliation. He gave him the pin that proved Alfred's Nazi affiliation. But while trying to escape, the pin, which he proudly carried with him, got stuck in his neck. And those Russian soldiers killed him. And yet another person died because of Oscar. The next morning, a Jewish man named Marius came into Alfred's shop and was appointed the new owner. After taking over the shop, Marius handled Alfred's funeral. He too lost his children and wife in a concentration camp, and he knows the pain of losing loved ones. At Alfred's funeral, Oscar realized he was now completely orphaned and decided to grow up again because growing up was crucial for him. Burying his drum in the grave, Oscar released his unique power when Kurd threw a stone at his head. A man present there then reported that Oscar was growing up again and that it was a miracle. Finally, Oscar's entire family, except for Anna, left the country to pursue a better life. It was then that Oscar discovered he had lost his ability to scream. Anna, in the end, stopped where Oscar's story began and moved on with her life. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.